Am I the asshole for being ungrateful over my high school graduation gift? This happened years ago, but it's still brought up by my parents. I, 24 female, am the youngest daughter, with my sisters being L, 29 female, and G, 27 female. Ever since I was young, I always felt like my sisters were treated differently. Since they were closer in age, they did everything together: ice skating lessons, horseback riding lessons, etc. Meanwhile, I was always on the sidelines watching them, like literally. I'd sit at wherever they were at and just watch them. My parents claimed I was too young to do those things, but I quickly learned they probably just didn't want to have to drive me somewhere else or spend money to enroll me either. I also became in charge of taking care of my sisters. Am I the asshole for being ungrateful over my high school graduation gift? I became in charge of taking care of my sisters, being that I had to make sure that everything for their lessons was packed or that they ate/packed their lunch, even though I'm way younger than them. Once I even got yelled at by my mom because I didn't make sure that they packed their lunch when I was 15 and they were 18 and 20 years old. I also realized when I was in high school that my parents just liked the excitement of having their children at a new stage in life. Since my sisters are only 1 year and 10 months apart, they graduated high school and started college within a year of each other. Meanwhile, I started high school when they both graduated, so it wasn't exciting to my parents when I was in high school or graduated high school. Am I the asshole for being ungrateful over my high school graduation gift? The day of my high school graduation, my mom kept complaining about having to attend because she already experienced it twice before. So the day had already started off bad. After we came back home from the ceremony, my dad gave me a gift, which was a small Tiffany & Co. bracelet. I was happy because I love Tiffany & Co. and it was pretty. My mom started getting all mad because she told my dad they had agreed to buy me a pen from there, which was cheaper than the bracelet because my sister Elle's 22nd birthday was going to be in a couple weeks. I got mad and started yelling about how Elle got a brand new Porsche for her high school graduation and G got a $5,000 purse for her graduation, but a $500 bracelet was too expensive for me. My mom called me an ungrateful brat. Am I the asshole for kicking my brother out for announcing his wife's pregnancy right after I announced my daughter's diagnosis? My brother and his wife suffer from not having kids for years. It impacted them greatly. They love the kids in the family but always wish to have kids on their own. Lately we got busy with Megan's 12 female health problems. She started suffering from anemia, loss of appetite, and recurrent fevers. We've taken her to the pediatrician, and from there we've learned that she has cancer. It was so devastating, I didn't want to tell my family right away. Most of them have chronic conditions, and this type of news might trigger a negative reaction because they love Megan. They would give anything to see her healthy. My friend suggested using Facebook, but no. Am I the asshole for kicking my brother out for announcing his wife's pregnancy right after I announced my daughter's diagnosis? My husband and I decided to gather the family at my house this past Wednesday to announce Megan's diagnosis. My aunt didn't take it well because she holds Megan dear, so she was rightfully the most devastated one. After a few minutes of complete silence, my brother started moving in his seat, saying there's something very serious he wanted to tell everyone. He was hesitant, but him and his wife stood up and they said that they found out they were finally expecting. The family was conflicted. Some got up and congratulated them and some remained seated. I remained seated. My brother then approached me and expressed how sorry that he was. Am I the asshole for kicking my brother out for announcing his wife's pregnancy right after I announced my daughter's diagnosis? He expressed how sorry he was that they had to tell us in these circumstances, but said he couldn't wait since this was a big deal for them after years of waiting and everyone was present. I argued with him about how he thought this was an appropriate time and asked if Megan mattered to him at all since he didn't take a minute to realize she was just diagnosed with cancer. He reminded me of how many years he and his wife suffered from frustration and disappointment for not being able to have kids. He said I didn't have to tell him congratulations, but should at least not guilt him for feeling overwhelmed and excited. He said that I knew how much he adored Megan and I shouldn't even think otherwise. Then he said he was sharing good news after hearing bad news, and there's nothing wrong with that. I told him and his wife to leave. Am I the asshole for pointing out my aunt has a favorite kid at a family dinner? My Aunt Mara, 45 female, has 2 kids. Reese, 13 female, and Laura, 9 female. Mara has always clearly preferred Laura. Reese always knew it too. My aunt always makes sure Laura can do the extracurriculars she wants to do. She lets her drop out anytime, even if she's paid in advance. She gives her the birthday she wants every year, and in general she's more affectionate and interested in what Laura is up to. With Reese, she pushed her into dance when she was 5 and made her dance for 4 years. My aunt hated it. She would ask her why she never put more effort in and that she always wanted a daughter who did dance. I, 18 female, was around there a lot. Am I the asshole for pointing out my aunt has a favorite kid at a family dinner? I, 18 female, was around there a lot because Aunt Mara babysat me for my parents. I once asked Aunt Mara why Reese couldn't do something she wanted to do, and she told me they didn't have money for it. Reese never really got to do anything, but Laura had soccer, dance, art, and swim right now. She's also done basketball, photography, gymnastics, which really upset Reese because she always wanted to do gymnastics, guitar, piano, drums, and singing. Aunt Mara also discards Reese's plans and has also made her cancel to look after her sister. And she's made her cancel her plans when Laura has plans. Am I the asshole for getting upset when my girlfriend nearly started a kitchen fire? I am 30 male homeowner. I have been with my girlfriend 25 female for about 8 months when we decided to try living together. We had been living together for 2 months when this happened. We both work full time and she's also in grad school. She is extremely scatterbrained, absent-minded, and messy. She was cooking a soup on the stove and apparently went into the other room to do homework, and at some point she fell asleep on the sofa. When I got home, I walked into the kitchen and most of the water had boiled off the soup and it had started smoking. I was infuriated because we live in an area that has forest fires. I almost lost the house I grew up in because of a forest fire, and it could potentially cause devastation. So when I saw what was going on, I started yelling. Part 2, am I the asshole for getting upset when my girlfriend nearly started a kitchen fire? I yelled at her until she woke up. I said, "What the F do you think you're doing?" She said she didn't mean to fall asleep, and I said, "You almost burned my house down and you think I didn't mean to is an okay excuse?" She said she was sorry, and I said that didn't cut it. I said from now on, if she wants to use my kitchen, she's not allowed to leave the room while there is a flame going on the stove. She said she didn't like being talked to like a child, and I replied, "Act like a child, get treated like one." That was the last thing I said, and I saw an instant change come over her. She left the room, went to go clean up the kitchen. After a few minutes, I felt sorry and went to help her clean up, and she said it was fine, she'd take care of it. I went in the bedroom to get changed, and after a few minutes, I saw her car pulling out and leaving. I was glad she left. Am I the asshole for getting upset when my girlfriend nearly started a kitchen fire? Night came and I didn't hear from her, and I texted and then called to see if she was okay. No reply. I then started calling some of her friends and family members, and then I got a call from her stating that she was okay and asked me not to contact her family members. I went to sleep, got up, went to work, came home. When I came home from work, all her things were gone. I tried to call her and I was blocked on every form of communication. Am I the asshole for getting a lock for my office door despite my husband's disapproval? Me, female 32, and my husband, male 36, have been married for 10 years and we have 2 kids. My husband is currently unemployed, but I recently started working from home in my office for 5 hours. Thing is, my husband would constantly barge into my office and interrupt my work over simple requests that he could get done himself. Requests like, "Can you fix this issue on my phone? Can you get the kids ready while I shower? Can you watch the oven while I make this phone call?" He would complain about appliances not working and ask for me to get them fixed. And he'd send the kids in all the time. Am I the asshole for getting a lock for my office door despite my husband's disapproval? I've talked to him about how this is impacting my work. I already handle the chores when I'm not working, so I think 5 hours of work should be respected. He'd apologize and say he didn't know, then do it again and say it was spontaneously. 2 days ago, I had an important meeting and he barged in, interrupted my meeting, asking me to fix his tie because he's going out later. It was horrible in front of my colleagues and superiors. I bought a lock later and installed it. When my husband got home in the evening and saw it, he looked absolutely shocked. He asked what was the lock for, and I replied that because of him interrupting my work sessions, this was the only way. Then he sent the kids to their room. Am I the asshole for getting a lock for my office door despite my husband's disapproval? Part 3. He sent the kids to their room and argued saying, "I can't believe you want to act like the kids and I are not even here and lock us out like that." I argued that I didn't appreciate how disrespected my boundaries were. I thought that the lock was the solution since I exhausted all my other options. He pitched a fit saying that the lock is not a good solution and expressed how hurt he was feeling. He asked, "Imagine how the kids are going to feel when they see it," then went out to smoke. He keeps saying I should remove it. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for refusing to take my friend's package with me internationally without opening and checking it first? I will soon be flying to the other side of the world, and my friend asked me to take a package with me and deliver it to a friend who lives in the country I'm flying to. I trust my friend with my life, but told her that since it's an international flight and taking unneeded risks are unwise, I'd appreciate if I can open the package and look through it just to make sure there's nothing undesirable in it. My friend immediately gets offended and even starts yelling at me, telling me how she can't believe I don't trust her and that I'm invading her privacy. She told me I'm being selfish and paranoid and that she won't let me inside the package because it has sensitive content. That ended up freaking me out more, so I told her that I can't do it unless I can check that it's safe. I told her I was sorry and she started crying and left the room. She later left me a text saying I'm selfish and she doesn't want to talk to me anymore. I feel bad but don't want to be in a bad position.